come on in, come on in. I'm so glad you're here. I'm very thankful that you're here. I know it's American Thanksgiving, so I wanted to do this video. I know not everybody has someone to spend Thanksgiving with, so I thought maybe we could spend it together. And you can just have my voice on in the background, just to keep you company. We're just going to discuss different Thanksgiving recipes that we can do. You might want to try a couple, I don't know. But yeah, it's to keep you company and to let you know I'm thankful for you. And I'm thankful for all you new people. I see you. And thank you for giving my channel a chance. If you like what you see, you can like it, you can share it, you can definitely comment. I love the comments. I love interacting, and I will reply back to the comments, okay? And definitely hit that subscribe button, please. And for those of you that are returning, thank you so much. I am so grateful to you guys. I really do. You guys make my channel. You do. End of story. So, before we get into that, I am doing the holiday card exchange and postcard exchange. My P.O. box is down below. You send me your holiday card, whatever it is, and I'll send you one from my holiday collection, which is Christmas, and I'll be sending you one as well. So it just helps us stay connected, show that we're a part of a community, because we are, and this big old world becomes a little bit smaller. Okay, and I have my cup here. My chip mug that I just got. I love this mug. So I'll drink some of that later. And I wanted to show you, I'm not using it quite yet because I haven't started doing the Christmas videos yet, but I did make myself a Christmas mic cover with the candy cane gems. And I've got snowmen and stockings. I think there's Santa Claus. There's Santa Claus. My favorite is the candy canes. I love candy canes. Not so much to eat, but I do love the look of candy canes and the story behind them. I'm going to tell that later. I also wanted to show you guys. There it is. I have an angel one too, for Auntie Angel. So I will be using these, and I'm just pulling out some of the hairs from the glue gun. And here's a tip: if anybody's doing crafts with a glue gun and you get those hairs, get your blow dryer, let it heat up a bit. It takes it right away. Don't worry about it. They're all gone. I just haven't done it yet. Okay, so let's get started, shall we? So happy Thanksgiving. Now, I know in the U.S. it's celebrated differently than it is here in Canada. We have parades, but I don't think they're as big as some of the parades I've heard of in the U.S. And I would love someday to see like the Macy's Day Parade or something like that. But we do celebrate with family and friends. I love Thanksgiving. A dear viewer, Olivia, said recently that Thanksgiving is great because it's all the joy of Christmas without the stress. And I love that. I love the camaraderie, I love potlucks. I love when everybody brings dishes. Those are the most fun. But I'll tell you how I make my Thanksgiving. And then and my husband, daughter, and I, we do it together. But a lot of it is done the day before, just to make life easier. I can't stand being stuck in the kitchen while everybody else is out having a good time. So here's what we do. First one, you can make your cranberry sauce days ahead of time. Okay, and cranberry sauce is one of the easiest things to make, guys. Don't ever be afraid of it. Just get a deep pot, okay? You don't want just a shallow one because it's going to splatter everywhere. So a deep pot, and you keep it in. So you just take your bag of cranberries, you give them a wash, throw them in the pot, put in a cup of sugar. I like to use a half a cup of white and a half a cup of brown because I like that caramelly taste, but it's up to you. Use whatever kind you like. And then you need a cup of liquid. Now, my mom always used orange juice. I know people that have used water. I've used cranberry juice in the past, which works great, like cranberry cocktail, because it gives it that cranberry taste. My favorite is orange juice and water. I don't like pure 100% orange juice, but I do. I also like to make a bouquet garni, and that's not hard, guys. You get a piece of cheesecloth, and you get it from the dollar store. If you happen to have those tea bags that you can add your own tea to, those work great. So what you do is you put a couple cloves in. I usually put 5. And just go to the bulk store to get them. Don't buy a whole bottle if you're not ever going to use them again. So I put about 5 cloves. I put a cinnamon stick that I've broken in half in. You can put a piece of ginger in. You can put a piece of nutmeg in. Whatever you fancy. Okay, I like cardamom seeds, so I put cardamom seeds in. Tie it with some twine and throw that in too. And that'll release the flavor, but you don't have to dig through to try to find 5 cloves. I've done that before. It's not easy. So all you do at that point is turn your burner on to medium high. You let it boil. Do not let it cook longer than 10 minutes. Don't let it like simmer boil more than 10 minutes, because what happens, the pectin in the cranberry will disappear and it will never really gel properly. It'll be very loose, which is good too. I mean, it all tastes good. Who cares, right? So that's the cranberries, and you pour it in a pretty bowl, stick it in your fridge. That's done. Also make sure if you have somebody at your table who likes the canned stuff, it's me. Get a can of the jellied stuff. You have to hear it sploosh, sploosh. Don't mash it up. Those lines from the can are where you slice it. Okay. Now, and those are great. Whatever's left over, you can make muffins and coffee cakes and stuff for the next week. Kids, don't worry about that. So the next thing that I usually think about is my side dishes. So if you're doing carrots, what I like to do is just peel them and cut them up, get them ready. If you're roasting them, I like to put like a little marinade over them with lemon juice, a little oil, whatever spices you want. With carrots, I like a little bit of sugar, some dill, salt and pepper. If you're just going to boil them, just put them in a little thing of cold water in the fridge, and then you can just dump it in the pot. If you want glazed carrots, easy peasy way of doing it, and you don't have to worry about it. Put only a little bit of water in with your carrots in the pot to boil. Put a plop of butter, whatever you want, a tablespoon, I guess. Okay. A glug of honey or maple syrup. I prefer maple syrup, but whatever. And salt and pepper. That's what I do. Oh, and orange juice. A splash of orange juice. Now, as the water boils, it'll evaporate because there's not that much in it, right? Well, then whatever you used as a sugar, you can use brown sugar, maple syrup, honey, whatever, will meld with the butter and automatically glaze your carrots. You just have to check on them once in a while and give them a stir. Easy peasy glazed carrots. That's done. Brussels sprouts. Not everyone is a fan of Brussels sprouts. The easiest way to do Brussels sprouts. Now, I don't recommend doing them for a big meal for people. It's a lot of work doing them, what I'm about to tell you. But you shred them, like cut them up really fine almost. Fry them up with bacon and onions in butter. I guarantee you. And then at the end, throw in some cranberries, dried cranberries. If you're feeling fancy, you can always put some balsamic vinegar at the very end to finish it. What I prefer to do now, I cut them in half. I put them on a roasting pan. Well, first I put them in a bowl, and I toss them with olive oil, lemon zest. I use a little bit of brown sugar, salt and pepper, and then put them cut side down. So they cut side down on your baking rack. And make your life easy, guys. Go to the dollar store, buy the aluminum racks, or get some parchment paper, the aluminum pans, or so you can just toss. Okay, make your life easy. And you put them cut side down, and you roast them in the oven when the turkey's resting. And you turn the oven up to like 400 while the turkey's out resting. Put your Brussels sprouts in. After about 15-20 minutes, give them a bit of a toss, and they're done. You at the end, if you want to make them a little more special, you can sprinkle some Parmesan cheese on them. Again, with the balsamic, whatever you want. Okay, throw some cranberries in with them to make them pretty. There's 2 side dishes done. Now your stuffing, I don't stuff a turkey, I make dressing. Okay, so I make it in a bowl and heat it. I make it the day before and I just pop it in the oven when I'm ready. And all that is you take your bread, break it up as much as you can finely. I used to do it in chunks and dry it out and toast. My mother-in-law taught me how to make it and I love hers. So she makes little fine, and she chops up onion and puts that in. She does celery and carrot. I grate my carrot so that it's not huge chunks, but it's up to you. And then she takes poultry seasoning, or she took poultry seasoning, and right when you think you've put too much on, put a little bit more, toss it all up, and then pour your chicken broth over it, or your vegetable broth if you're making a vegetarian. If you have vegetarians coming, try to have something for them too. So you can do that. And then you just roast it in the oven half an hour before dinner's ready. You throw it in. You throw it in with your Brussels sprouts, and they're done at the same time. So that's now 3 sides done. Okay, mashed potatoes. Make your mashed potatoes ahead of time. Make it in the morning. Okay, boil your potatoes. Drain your potatoes in the pot that the potatoes drained in, or the potatoes cooked in, so it's still hot. Throw in your milk and butter. And the reason you're doing that, it's better if they're warm when you mix your mashed potatoes. It makes the starch is better. Okay. And then when that's melted, throw back in your potatoes, throw in whatever seasoning, and then do what you do. If you use a ricer, you can rice them and put them in. If you mash them, get someone to mash them, or you mash them. If you use an electric mixer, which is my favorite, but not everyone likes whipped potatoes, you can do that. Then get one of those aluminum square pans or rectangle pans, pour it in, and again, when you take the turkey out, you dot some butter on the top and you pop it in with your other sides. Now that your carrots are cooking, inside your oven after your turkeys come out, you've got Brussels sprouts, dressing, and now mashed potatoes. So it's all working really great. Okay, you've got your sides done. Now let's talk about and you're doing all of this ahead of time, so you're not stuck on Thanksgiving Day feeling hard done by and getting stressed out. Okay, now the turkey's easy peasy, and that's the day of. Okay, do not stuff your turkey the night before. That's a great way to get food poisoning. Ask me how I know. Anyways, what I do is I make a mixture of butter, really soft butter. I like orange in it, so you take a tangerine or an orange and you squeeze it. Put some well, first you zest it, then you squeeze it, and then your spices. And for turkey, I like thyme, salt, pepper, but whatever you like on yours. Paprika, smoked paprika, whatever you like. Okay, make it into a paste. What I do is I very carefully lift the turkey skin away from the breast, and don't worry, you can do this. And you got to use your fingers. Put on gloves. Nobody's going to judge you if you don't like touching meat. Okay, get your hand in there and separate it. Then take your glob of butter, put it in there, and then use your hand on the skin to get it to go forward. Easy peasy. And that way, as it cooks, the butter goes into the meat. Basting your turkey doesn't work for me, and I actually heard a chef talk about this. I'm not nervous, I just want to give you guys some ASMR sounds. And they said that you're lowering it and raising the temperature of your oven every time you open it to baste it. And all you're doing is putting liquid on top of your skin, which you want crispy. So this way, with the butter under the skin, it goes down into the meat. And for the skin, I used to use butter. I don't anymore. I use olive oil, and I put it all over. You can use a pastry brush if you want. A clean paintbrush from the dollar store, like just for that purpose. But you can buy a pastry brush at the dollar store too. And you just paint your olive oil over, and then do your seasoning. You want to use, if you have it. If you don't have it, use what you have, okay? If you have coarse salt, sea salt or the coarse kosher salt, use that. It makes your skin really crispy. And then your pepper, paprika, whatever herbs you want to do, okay? Now, how I cook my turkey, and I don't buy turkeyzillas, okay? I put my turkey into it's a preheated oven, but I cook my turkey at 350. I don't blast it and then bring it down or any. My turkey is always in at 350. And I think it's 25 minutes a pound is how long you're supposed to cook it. The biggest thing, use a thermometer. Just get your thermometer in there. Google what the healthy one is. I always do 165 and I've never had an issue. And you want to put that thermometer into the breast, okay? The thickest part of the breast, not touching bone, put it down. That's where you'll get the best reading. Now, the biggest, most important thing about turkey, you gotta let it rest. And what I do is I take it out. You take a loose tent foil tent, right? Which is aluminum. But you don't want it tight because you don't want it to steam because all that crispy skin will go. You're just kind of putting it over to retain the heat. And all those juices that are moving all over the turkey on the inside, they'll now meld into the turkey. Because if you start cutting it right away, all those juices will run out and you're going to end up with a dry bird. You don't want a dry bird. Although that's what gravy's for. Now, personally, I use Clubhouse gravy, the packaged gravy. I drain my turkey, the drippings from the turkey. I have a fat separator. If you don't have a fat separator, stick it in the fridge for 10 minutes or even the freezer. Take it out. The fat will rise to the top. You just scoop it off because you just want the goodness. You don't want the fatty stuff, right? And then I just use that and as much water as I need to follow the package directions. If you don't want to do that and you want to do it the old way, good on you. Pour it in a pot. After the fat's gone, I make a slurry of cornstarch and water. So about a tablespoon of cold water, tablespoon of cornstarch. Give it a good mix, or flour. But I never have luck with flour. I get lumps with flour. And then you pour it and you boil it until it reduces to the consistency you like for gravy. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy, done. Okay. So the only thing we have left is dessert. Now, I know pies are the quintessential Thanksgiving dessert. You can do anything you want. You really can. Buy frozen pie shells if you can't make pastry. Hosting a Thanksgiving dinner is not the time to try your hand at pastry. But if you do want to try a really good one, the Pioneer Woman. Just Google the Pioneer Woman's. It's no fail for me. I have never been able to make pie crust till I started using her recipe. And I do the half butter, half Crisco. But you can do it with all Crisco or all butter. It's up to you. But like I said, go buy a pre-made. Or tell someone to bring the pies. You can make a trifle. And a trifle is great because you can use any kind of cake. A store-bought cake mix, homemade, whatever you want. For Christmas, I like to do a gingerbread trifle. So I make a gingerbread cake. And I break that up. And then I do a layer of chocolate or caramel syrup. And then some whipped cream. And then some nuts, fruit, whatever you want. And just make that layered. Trifles are the easiest thing to make. Okay, you can use puddings already made. Go buy already made puddings. Go buy a tub of Cool Whip. Okay, they're already made. Okay, you got to let the Cool Whip thaw. And you know, you can even buy a pre-made cake, an angel food cake or anything you want, pound cake, and just you make the layers, add some fruit and nuts. People go crazy for it. You can add Jello too. I've done a layer of Jello too, and again, you can buy pre-made. And you've made it, but you've used ready-made ingredients, and it just makes your life so much easier, really. So that's pies and a trifle. Cupcakes are another one. Have some fruit too, because some people don't want a big heavy dessert. You can have the fruit too. You know, there's all kinds of different things you can do with it. And as people arrive, or throughout the day, or just for yourself, because it's a heck of a good thing, get yourself some apple cider. Although I know apple cider can be really pricey. You can do it with apple juice too. Put it in a pot. You can use not got a crock pot, slow cooker, or just a pot. You can even make it in a pot and then put it in a teapot. Put the apple juice or apple cider in, and again, make another bouquet garni. And you don't even have to do that, okay? Just throw your cloves and your cinnamon stick and ginger and whatever you want, spice-wise, and let it boil. Your home is going to smell incredible, just incredible. And then you pour a nice hot cup of that, or use a ladle to get it out. Be careful, because the longer you cook it, it's going to evaporate. So keep a lid on it if it's on a low, warm temperature, so that it doesn't evaporate. You can also do that with cranberry juice, just cranberry cocktail. It's a delicious, different drink, and you can add some rum, you can add some vodka, whatever you want. But they're nice, and people will remember that you serve something different, I don't do hors d'oeuvres for Thanksgiving and Christmas, because I'm not killing myself making this big meal for people to fill up on, little ones. But if you do want to make them easy. Cheese and crackers. Go to M&M Meats or the frozen section, get some frozen hors d'oeuvres. Pop them in, because you want your oven clear. You've made it so that your turkey can cook all by itself, and then when it's resting, all the other dishes go in. Crank the oven to 400 and let them all heat up, because you're basically just heating them through. Okay, so that's perfect, and that's it. And my other thing, and I know people are going to be shocked at this, but go to the dollar store, get a very nice tablecloth. You know the kind I'm talking about, the ones that just wipe up. Yeah, get one of those. Or, here's something I learned very recently. Get a big sheet of craft paper and put it over your table, and give everyone a pencil, a pen, or a crayon. And they can write what they're thankful for. And then you can kind of go around the table and read everybody's. It's a really fun thing to do. But anyways, get yourself disposable plates and silverware. And I'm not talking about the cheap ones. Something nice. You can color coordinate. I know Costco has beautiful ones that look like actual china and silverware. And you know what? At the end of the meal, grab the 4 corners, throw it out, you're done. Okay? This is just to make your life easier, guys. That's all. You do you. Because whatever you do, as long as you share of yourself, nobody's going to care about the food. I mean, everybody wants the food to be great and everyone to talk about it. But you know what? Do you? And I got to tell you, I just saw a new recipe on YouTube. And her name was Jerry, and I don't remember, but it was her mother's macaroni and cheese. I have never seen macaroni and cheese made this way, but you best be believing I'm going to be trying it. So what she did was she took a baking dish, and she had pre-boiled her macaroni. She put a layer of macaroni down. She did green onions, and then she did shredded cheddar. And then she kept layering it until the dish was full. And then she took her milk. I think she used 1.5 cups of milk. Could have been 2 cups, but anyway. 2 eggs. Mixed it all up. Now, personally, I would add a spoonful of Dijon mustard, but that's just me. Mixed it up, and then very gently poured it over the whole thing. Okay, watch my hand. Over the whole thing. She put it in her 350 oven, and I would bet you it probably took half an hour to 45 minutes. But she took it out halfway through and gave it a stir. When she brought that out, it looked exactly like macaroni and cheese, and I'm like, you don't have to mess with a roux. You don't have to have all that butter in it. I thought it was incredible. I am definitely making it this weekend. I'm going to try making mac and cheese that way. Just a small dish to try it, but that's another great side dish. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this Thanksgiving ramble, and I hope it brought you some comfort and some joy, because you guys bring me comfort and joy, and I may not be American, but I am thankful. I am so very thankful for all of you, that you watch this channel, that you're part of my Auntie Angel fam, and I'm just so grateful for all of you. And I hope today is, no, because I might post this tonight. I hope that Thanksgiving is a good holiday for you. I love you, I value you, I honor you, and I'm so very, very glad that you were born.